Welcome, friends, to Gimme 5. I'm Rev Leigh Anne Armstrong, and if you give me 5 minutes, I'll try to give you a spiritual deep breath to begin each week with. Today's reading comes from the 8th chapter of Luke's Gospel. We find Jesus up to some healing, and that seems like a time for some celebration. Well, it does, doesn't it? Then they arrived at the region of the Gerasenes, which is opposite Galilee. As he stepped out on shore, a man from the city who had demons met him. For a long time he had not worn any clothes, and he did not live in a house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, shouting at the top of his voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For many times it had seized him. He was kept under guard and bound with chains and shackles, but he would break the bonds and be driven by the demon into the wilds. Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. They begged him not to order them to go back into the abyss. Now there on the hillside, a large herd of swine was feeding, and the demons begged Jesus to let them enter these, so he gave them permission. Then the demons came out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd stampeded down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When the swineherds saw what had happened, they ran off and told it in the city and the country. Then people came out to see what had happened. And when they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they became frightened. Those who had seen it told them how the one who had been possessed by demons had been healed. Then the whole throng of people of the surrounding regions of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, for they were seized with great fear. So he got into the boat and returned. I don't know if you could tell from the tone of my voice, but there was some puzzlement, if not outright surprise, for me in the reading today. And you've got to know that if a pack of demon-possessed porkers running into the lake isn't the thing that shocks me, there's a real head-scratcher here. But imagine a man so tortured by his inner demons that he was driven out of his city into the wilds, living naked among the dead, under guard and in chains when they could manage to shackle him. The sort of person we can imagine a judge pronouncing a danger to himself or others. The sort of person we can imagine being labeled a public menace. The kind of man with his own set of urban legends. Things we know are just the stories we make up about the people we don't understand. Friends, believe me when I say that there should be nothing the people of the city and the country would celebrate more than the healing of this tortured man. For the man's sake, yes, but for God's sake, at least equally for the sake of the city and the countryside. Imagine the liberation felt by everyone in the Gerasenes to know that this man's restoration to wholeness also meant the restoration of the community. So yeah, knock me over with a feather when first the folks summoned by the swineherds, and then apparently every Gerasenian who was anyone, showed up to witness this healing and did not celebrate. No, my friends, they reacted with fear. They witnessed an act of power and compassion that restored a man to life and enriched their community too, offering them the gift of this formerly tortured soul as a neighbor and a fellow laborer. It cost them a few pigs. Restoration always has a cost, and community does too. I would offer the gifts are worth the costs. But these Gerasenians, they chose fear. And Jesus, he got in his boat and rowed away. Beloved, as you go, and go you will know this. Fear is a choice, and you can choose it. But restoration and community are worth what choosing will cost us. Choose wisely.